Coming up on episode 136 of Anarcho Agenda, I discuss and ramble on about Palantir, Trump and Elon breaking up, and whether we can fix the system in which we live. This podcast is covered by the BIPCOT no government license. This allows for use and reuse by anyone except governments and or government agents. Learn more at bipcot.org. You know, a divorce and breakups are tough on anyone. This is episode 136 of Anarcho Agenda. I'm Riley Blake. The breakup in this case that I'm talking about is Trump and Elon Musk. Elon went public with his disagreements with Donald Trump on his platform X and made claims that Donald Trump was on the Epstein list. And now rumor has it those posts are deleted. I think Elon was speaking the truth. I believe that Donald Trump is on the Epstein list. I'm willing to go on record and say that Donald Trump is not a friend of liberty. That being said, I think he's a far better choice than Kamala Harris or anyone on the left who believes in big government. But Donald Trump is extremely dangerous because he presents himself as a liberty man, a freedom man, and in some ways he is. But evil isn't evil openly. It's evil in subtle ways. It's going to present you so many good options, but add a negative option or two into the mix. I will provide an example later on in the show. Donald Trump has demonstrated that, yes, he does love free markets and things like that, which is good, but he is also empowering evil, insidious things to happen in the next administration. Right now, we're experiencing right-wing authoritarianism. The pendulum is swinging toward the right. And it may swing to the right for quite a while, because people love more conservative-leaning values. At the same time, they want conservative authoritarianism at the head of their government. But when the pendulum swings once again, where will we end up? Will we end up in a place where liberty is no longer fashionable? Will we end up in a place where free markets are just evil and greedy people value freedom? In some circles, that is the case. Going back to Trump and Elon breaking up, I have read a lot of people theorizing that this could get ugly. And it might get ugly. Or they might make up eventually. But if I know anything about Trump, I think once someone smears him, he may not let them back into his good graces for a while. And Elon Musk has probably burnt some bridges at this point, and publicly. But then again, this could also be a distraction. A distraction from what we're really going through. A world where inflation is still going on. A world where people are losing their jobs. A world where government is still expanding. A world where the deficit is still expanding, where the debt continues to climb. And all for what? So we can live happy, healthy lives in a cage? I wish I had good news that freedom is growing in parts of the world faster than wildfire. But even in New Hampshire, where thousands of people are migrating to bring a more libertarian society into the limelight, it's a slow battle. It's a slow, moving experience to change the hearts and minds of people to value liberty. People generally don't value liberty because if you tell them we must live free, they always bring up, well, what if my neighbor does something I don't like? Or what if this happens? Or what if that happens? I'm not here to solve your problems. I'm here to tell you that liberty is more important than worrying about what your neighbor is doing. Trump and Elon may be arguing on the political stage right now. And they may have broken up publicly. But that's not the real issue here. The real issue is that liberty is dying. And in this case, it's dying with an American flag. So maybe this Trump-Elon divorce is a good thing. Maybe it's symbolic of where we're really going as a country. Maybe it's symbolic of where America is headed, a breakup, a divorce. Maybe it is time for divorce. Maybe it is time for secession, for New Hampshire or any other state in this union to declare that we are done. We are done with UDC. Who will make the first move? Maybe California. Maybe New Hampshire. Maybe Texas. Either way, let's make secession happen. Let's declare ourselves free and independent of the United States government. That way, if Elon Musk and Donald Trump have their feud, we don't have to worry about it. We can be like, well, isn't it funny how these foreign politicians behave? It's just so silly. And we can just laugh. Laugh at things while outsiders and foreigners battle it out. In this digital age, your information is everywhere on the internet, ready to be used by bad actors. From your social security number to where you live, even your bank details may be out there. It is purely the mere number of others in the same camp that has protected the majority. For nearly 2 decades, ThinkPenguin.com has been developing solutions to protect your privacy. Take back your privacy by going to ThinkPenguin.com and buying Linux-based hardware and software to get back some resemblance of your digital privacy. That's ThinkPenguin.com. A lot of people love nostalgia, me included. I love thinking about the old days, or times past with friends and fun experiences, whether in high school or college. Fun dates I went on. Fun experiences I've had with family. And yet, something is happening. A change in paradigm. We've seen the world be torn apart by war by thousands and thousands of years. Civilizations collapse because they cannot sustain themselves, and warring countries or tribes come and take them out. And so, the paradigm has to shift. We can't continue doing the same thing we've always done. Conservatives love the idea of conserving, of wishing things could go back to the way they were, and yet we can't go back to the way things were. Because you can't step in the same river twice. It's ever flowing, ever moving. And so, instead of embracing change, conservatives want to lean into, we have to get back to something, the Constitution. We have to get back to something we know. While in theory that may be a wonderful idea, it's not working well for us. So maybe it's time for new solutions. Leading to the challenge of moving someplace entirely different than what you're used to. Gathering with like-minded people. Creating the society you want to see. Not by top-down authoritarian leadership through government, but by bottom-up grassroots efforts. Like here in New Hampshire, the Free State Project has been here to spread the ideas of liberty. From the Free Staters coming here, inspiring conferences and festivals, to them infiltrating government, to them participating in the government process, either becoming senators and representatives, to them running for various political offices. Why? Because they want to be part of the change. For myself, I love the idea of change too. I want to see us try something different than asking government to do something for us. I would rather see us create something new, a new experiment where we try something entirely new, where we adopt principles of peace and non-aggression in order to make change happen. And yet here I am, dreaming of a libertarian utopia. When libertarianism doesn't create utopia, it creates liberty. So, if you're a conservative listening to this and you are afraid of change and you want to go back to America in the 1950s or the 60s or the 70s or when you were a child and things were different, You can live in that world if you wish. I would rather move forward into a world where we challenge expectations, even our own, where we challenge ideas. The United States was founded on this idea of liberty and justice for all. This idea where we didn't have to have a king rule us, where we could have representative government. And yet, we still fight about it today. We still fight over this representative government instead of saying, well, let's try something new. Let's try something radically evolutionary in our own human experience. Philosophize over new ideas and new ways of solving problems, and then apply them. So embrace change. The company Palantir is creating a database of all American citizen data. And even some libertarians here in New Hampshire are supporting this. Because they're jumping on this bandwagon of, oh, we have to get rid of illegals. Dehumanizing a group of people, calling them illegals. Dehumanizing people and claiming they're not welcome here because they don't have the right paperwork. They don't obey the right rules. I've heard it said that free people must cross borders freely, or you do not have a free country or a free people. And I would agree with that. I don't think it's necessary for me to have the right paperwork to cross some imaginary line in the sand. I also think that these people should be taken care of if they're impoverished, voluntarily, of course. And if these people do arrive crossing some imaginary line in the sand and no one wants to take care of them, then that should be the consequence of their actions. But yet there will be someone out there who will want to take care of them, and they will advocate for government to do it for them. Why? Because it's easier than encountering the situation yourself. It's easier than reaching out your own hand with your own money and handing it to someone you don't know, a stranger who has a different skin color than you. Maybe I'm just a dreamer, but I'd rather live in a world where free people cross borders freely, and we understand what liberty is. And we understand that the system that we live under now is broken. It's not working for us. So instead of changing it, maybe the best approach is to try a new system. Back to Palantir and its immense database. What is this opening up for us, Trump? What kind of power are you handing Kamala Harris, David Hogg, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Chuck Schumer? What kind of power are you handing these people? Now, I know the left are all opposed to this right now, but 10 years from now, they won't be. They'll be cheering it on, and anyone opposed to it is a traitor. Think of Edward Snowden. I remember in 2003, 2004, 2005, how the left were opposed to the Patriot Act. I was opposed to it too. But at least I remained opposed to it, and still remain opposed to it. And when Edward Snowden came out with his stories of mass surveillance, it already confirmed what I knew. I would rather not live in a society that demands my paperwork. I'd rather be in a place where I can show up and display my work by my own actions. And they'll value me as a human being. This concludes episode 136 of Anarcho Agenda. I am Riley Blake. If you like this content and wish to support me on Patreon, you can do so at patreon.com/crblake86. That's patreon.com/crblake86. Also, don't forget to visit thinkpenguin.com and take back your digital privacy. That's really important. That's thinkpenguin.com. Thank you very much for listening. Catch you next episode. Worms.